guys. I was having a hard time with this. Okay, so we are doing. Hi, Chelsea. Okay, we are doing mini readings today. I'm trying to. Okay. Okay, Chelsea, I'm just waiting for you to come on. Hi. Hi, Natalia. Hi, Chelsea.
Hey, can you hear
Sorry,
me
guys.
okay?
I hear you perfect. I was having some technical difficulties. Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome. So, introducing to you Chelsea Jewel. So, Chelsea is what I was reading Chelsea about over a year ago, and she started going down this path, becoming an intuitive and a healer. And I had the great pleasure of teaching her and mentoring her. But, I'm sure many lifetimes ago we were sisters or something. So I'm so excited to have her here with you. She has joined the Nikki Novo team by being one of our soul mentors, which means that she is reading underneath me as a through the method that I've created. So all the readings that you guys love so much, but at a more affordable price and with just as a strong intuitive. So introducing Chelsea, so I wanted you guys to get to meet her, and she was so kind to offer us a few little free readings today, and we're going to play like the lottery here, and I'm going to see who
Yay.
gets picked.
Thank you for
So,
that.
yeah, welcome, Chelsea. Tell us a little bit, whatever you want to say.
Oh gosh, I don't know. You summed it up so nicely. I mean, yeah, I had my first reading with you like a little bit over a year ago, which is crazy because time in 2020 has been so weird, and it feels like this whole year I've been working with you and studying under you. It feels like it's gone by really quickly, but it also feels like I've been doing it for like 5 years instead of less than that.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
um,
and the days that are like, I always think that too. Like when I see you do readings, like experience them, I'm like, wow, how is that possible? I was like sitting there like trying to meditate for like 5 years to get information. And you guys are so like all of you are so impressive to me. So I love it.
well, we have a great teacher.
I
So,
do. This is me and my spirit guides, guys, when I was learning. Okay, so give me a hi. Just write to me hi if you want, if you have a question to ask Chelsea that she will connect to your guides, pull some energy, do whatever, don't worry about how she does her magic. All I need is a hi if you are ready for a question, and I will see who we pick. Okay. Oh, we have 33 people right now.
ooh, lucky. Angel numbers.
Okay. I know. Okay. Telecurls 7.
I knew you were
Am
going
I
to pick that person.
really? Telili curls. Look, you see, it's already happening. What is your question? So go ahead and type in your question. I think it's Stephanie. I didn't know you. So type in your question, okay? Let's see.
Hey,
Hi,
Kate.
Kate. Okay, yes, you. Me. Yes, me. So go ahead and type in your question for Chelsea.
And your first name, please.
Yes. Hi, Zena. Okay. And I'm going to start looking to see who's going to be my second. Stephanie, no pressure, but we're waiting for you.
Okay, so Telecurls is Stephanie.
Yes,
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that is Stephanie. Okay. And then you know what? We'll go to Michelle Franklin, 18. Go ahead and write in yours as well so that we're not waiting. And then we'll go with one more.
It is Stephanie. Okay.
Okay. It's Stephanie. Chelsea, tell me what's been your latest um, weird reading.
Oh gosh, weird reading. None of them are really weird. I feel like once you just kind of detach from it and you're like, okay. Um, hmm. I don't know. That's such a funny question. I had dinner with a friend kind of from like my old life from corporate marketing recently, and she asked me, she was like, I don't think she fully understands all of what we do. And so she was like, so what's like the weirdest thing that's happened in your new job in business? And I was like, how weird can I actually tell her? And she was like, yeah, it's a hard question, right? And I was like, I don't think you understand why it's hard for me. I'm about to start talking about aliens and stuff, and I think you think it's going to be something a lot different.
That, just so you guys know, one of mine and Chelsea's favorite things to do is we like to talk about aliens together. So it's kind of a weird thing we have going on.
That's actually I mean, probably a lot of people do think that's weird, but I don't think it's that weird. But when I do my readings, I like to see in people's crown chakras kind of what they're connecting into, in addition to like source and their spirit guides. And so sometimes I get like little star seed families that come up there.
Yes, I love the alien people. I love when I'm reading like an alien soul. I'm like, oh, so fun. Okay, so Stephanie wrote in, I'm with someone who I love, but I'm wondering if I'm on the right path. So
where do you
Stephanie,
see this?
Oh, she's sending me the question, so you're not gonna be able to see it.
Oh, okay.
So Stephanie, can we get a first name of the person that you're with?
And can you repeat that, Nikki?
Yes. So Stephanie is asking, I'm with someone who I love, but I am wondering if I'm on the right path.
Okay. Yeah, first name would be helpful. I mean, right away, Stephanie, feeling into this, even without the person's first name, I'm being drawn to both your heart and your solar plexus chakras. And that makes sense with how you phrase that question of you're with a person you love, but wondering if you're on the right path. It almost feels to me, Stephanie, like there is something being blocked in your solar plexus by this relationship or by this person, not intentionally, but it feels like there's something you're wanting to pursue that you feel like you can't totally because it's going to change the dynamic of the relationship you're in. Can she send the name privately?
I'm trying to see if she can, but
okay.
So go ahead.
So,
don't worry about her. You flow.
Okay,
I'm taking care of you, Chelsea.
Okay. Yeah, Stephanie, it feels like there's almost a little bit of this dichotomy for you between the solar plexus and the heart chakra right now. And that's not a bad thing. And it's not saying like you have to have one or the other, like your soul purpose or this person in the relationship. The energy cord in the heart chakra to you with this person feels nice and good to me, but it feels like, you're kind of going through some changes, and in order to fully step into this like next level of potential that your soul is calling you into, there needs to be a bit less of playing small. And that's part of what this relationship is doing right now. You're still kind of playing small and playing by the old rules. So the other thing, like as kind of a way to fix this or address this, I'm seeing is through the throat and the sacral chakras. So really speaking your truth and having a conversation with this person you're with, Stephanie. I think even before you do that, though, there is that bit of sacral energy for you to tap into on your own, of finding a bit more creativity in what lights you up and finding a bit more flow in your divine feminine. So basically what I would say to you, Stephanie, is start with the energy of your sacral. Follow like what makes you feel really creative and really in flow, even if it has nothing to do with your job or like what you think is your soul purpose. That if you do that, that's going to kind of unlock your throat chakra. It's kind of like a sequence of events for you of following your chakras. So start with the sacral. It's going to unlock something in your throat chakra and be able to let you have this like really expressive, more I don't want to say authentic conversation with your partner, but I feel like there's a layer to yourself that you don't even know is there yet. And so that's going to unlock in your partnership with this person. And that's going to kind of balance out that push, that tug of war we're feeling between the heart and solar plexus right now.
Yeah. Seems like like what I was getting from you, Chelsea, is like almost like there's like a bravery coming in, like if like if you want to take it to the next level, like this kind of fear of being left or this fear of being abandonment
Yeah.
has to go, and you have to just like go bigger or go home type of thing. So
Yeah, definitely.
that's beautiful. And that path. So the sacral chakra is a center right above your reproductive organ, Stephanie. So you could just look it up and see like what helps open it, and don't worry. So like, like that's going to basically lead you to the other centers that she's talking about that are going to open up. It was a good thing you had that question. It's not so much like a leave the relationship, but it was more like there is something there. And
Yeah.
there's like a stepping, like a up leveling kind
Yeah,
of.
and up leveling, and almost like a peeling back the layers to yourself too.
Yeah. Right. Some like cool stuff. Okay, beautiful. Okay, so Michelle, our next question, Michelle Franklin, 18. Hi, Nikki and Chelsea. I'm looking for some insight on my soul purpose. I'd love to know what I'm meant to be doing in life and career. I feel so stuck in what I'm in. No biggie, Michelle, just soul purpose.
Just what am
That
I here to do in this lifetime?
I know we love to ask that question, which is totally doable. We find that in the Akashic records, but we'll see what we can pull from now, because that can take a
It's
little, like, to be super accurate. You have to go like she'd
yeah.
have to go into the Akashic records. But what question? Do you have any questions, Chelsea, for her?
Um, Michelle is one of the ones that's in Soul Leader with us right now, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Michelle, if you could say what you do right now, that would be helpful to have a starting point as well. And then let me kind of feel into this.
Take your time.
It's funny because I'm being drawn to the sacral again. I feel like that's a theme that's emerging for us, but I'm feeling like a lot of the water element for you, Michelle. And it almost feels to me like your guides are saying, similar to what we said for Stephanie, but in a different context, to start there in the sacral. What I'm feeling for you is more related to the sacral, because our sacral area is also the chakra that's associated with our emotions. And I'm feeling for you, Michelle, like your guides are saying, before you can even truly step into your soul purpose and like fully kind of uncover what that is, there's some more layers of emotional healing for you to do and to look at. And I'm also feeling like this has actually been a theme that's come up in a lot of my readings, especially this year. Keep in mind that as you go through and do some more emotional healing and some inner child healing, it feels like, Michelle, keep in mind like it is kind of tough, and it's hard work and it's emotional work. But keep in mind the bigger purpose, that you're not just doing this to heal yourself. There's an element here too of like the reason you're being called to go through this really deep emotional work is because that's also there's some element of that's also part of your purpose that you will step into. You can't like fully see that yet because you have to go through it yourself. It's almost like an initiation for you. But that, if you keep that perspective, I would say start there with doing some of that. It also feels like you've also maybe started doing this already. I'm in an office setting now. I did this more for stability. It feels like you may have already started some healing work for yourself, but I would say keep doing that. And if you feel like you're not moving forward with it, or like you're not seeing the results you want from it yet, it's just because it takes time and there's, again, deeper layers for you to access. I just keep seeing the water element for you of this emotional healing that you're meant to go through. And like, you're going to kind of go through it almost like they're showing me this really pretty picture actually of you walking through, like you're kind of in a cave and you walk under this sheet, like a waterfall sheet, and you have to kind of go under that and through that, and then you like come out on the other side to this whole beautiful landscape. And that is like, again, that's part of your purpose. And then you're going to turn around and hand the baton back to someone else who is doing the same thing. So that's what I'm feeling for you.
Yeah, so I guess what I'm getting, Chelsea, from what you're saying is almost like, you know, like, of course, like soul purpose is this thing that we want to be able to know what that is and get clear on it so that we can take the steps forward to it. But it almost, they're definitely, like, you're like, Michelle, you're not crazy for thinking there's some sort of wall between you
Yeah.
and what that is. And it's because like that initiation is this feeling of like, we're going to put you in this dark place that you can't see much and you're going to kind of feel your way through. So almost like kind of doing the work that shows up in front of you rather than like looking for that purpose, because you do keep hitting a wall. Like, you're not crazy that you're doing like that, you're not getting it. It's just that there's this almost like a hallway that you have to go to get into that room. It's
Yeah.
kind of, I guess, the way that you were explaining it from what
Yeah,
I understood.
exactly. And that's the other thing I would say too, is like, we often think so much of our soul purpose as our career, and sometimes our soul purpose shows up in front of us like it is for you right now, Michelle, of like the work we're meant to be doing on ourselves and the healing work we're doing. But it also shows up in anything and everything that shows up in our lives for us to deal with. So your work in your career is going to be one expression of that, but right now you're being called more on this kind of, like we said, initiation process and journey, if that makes sense, Michelle.
So Chelsea, just to give you some feedback, you were getting from Stephanie, I feel like I'm in the right relationship, but I'm scared to talk about my feelings.
Mm.
So you were getting a lot of that. You were getting like so detailed. Just to point you out. So
Yeah,
guys,
yeah.
just for those of you who joined, now we have Chelsea, who is one of our soul mentors, who has been trained under me, has been training in my method, has been doing readings, really powerful readings. I just want to introduce you to her. That's why we have her on today. She's going to answer 3 questions and connect. We already answered 2, and we have Sarah now next, and we'll see. Maybe we have a bonus time. So let's see. Sarah, I've felt called to help and guide people my whole life, but I would love to know how that could show up for me as far as my future. Thank you, Chelsea. Next, like, kind of wondering what would next steps be?
Okay. I love this question too. Okay, let me feel into this. This is Sarah Kathleen. Okay. I keep seeing, Sarah, for you, I keep seeing angel wings on your back, and like you're an earth angel meant to guide other earth angels. But, you know, the first thing when Nikki was reading your question that I thought of too, and this is a little bit less specific for you, Sarah, but it applies. But so many people, especially in this year in 2020, are feeling this call, or like this call within them is lighting up to help and guide other people, and especially in some sort of spiritual or healing field like what we're doing here. And I feel like that's actually why you're here, and that's why your question was selected, Sarah, because this is a big part of what you're meant to do too. And not, maybe there is some intuitive aspect to it as well, but it feels almost more like, for you, I'm feeling really closely tied to people going through their spiritual awakenings. And I'm not sure where you feel like you are on your spiritual awakening journey, Sarah. It feels like you're a bit closer to, you know, the end of your spiritual awakening journey. There's not really an end, but feels like you are meant to help those earth angels who are very sweet, probably very quiet people, kind of like the people pleasers that we see a lot, and who are very empathic, and they're going through, like, they're just starting to go through their spiritual awakening, and they're like coming into this kind of spiritual community, like, what the heck is all of this? Like, people are talking about earth angels, people are talking about star seeds and aliens, and I don't even know like what's going on with me. I feel like, you know, my friends aren't, I'm not having the same kind of conversations I used to have with my friends, and like everything's just kind of shifting beneath them. And I see you being a guide for those people specifically, and like being a really sacred space holder for them, like maybe even at some point in the future holding group circles for people to just kind of like share their experiences. And I mean, that's actually a lot of what Nikki has created with her programs, is Soul Leader, and the other program I went through with her. It was just so comforting to know that as we all are working on strengthening our intuition, like, we're not going crazy. And that feels, Sarah, like a lot of the work you're meant to be guiding people through is this spiritual awakening. And the other thing I would look up for you is like the dark night of the soul, because a lot of people who have spiritual awakenings equate what they're going through with the dark night of the soul, where they maybe have some sort of bigger event like a job loss, or they lose a loved one or something like that. And it's literally like almost kind of like what we were talking about for Michelle, like you're in this dark room and you can't see the way forward and things are crumbling down for you.
Chelsea, she wrote back saying that, like, oh my gosh, this hits. I'm getting chills. We have Erin. I love it, Erin. She says, I have chills for you, Sarah.
I have chills now too.
Yeah. I'm like sad because I know what it is to go through like the dark night of the soul. And I have so much compassion for all of you guys who are going through it. But I also, because I exist on the other side of it, I am excited for you at the same time. And I know that it is so worth it. Like I don't know, the centering and the peace that I have and the ability to like kind of know what's happening is just because of that process. And it's a process. And I remember going through it, and like literally my heart is like kind of breaking a little bit, because it's you know, it's a thing. But I am also, I believe in you, and I know you guys are going to do great, and it's going to be so worth it. And I can't wait to see you on the other side. Abstracting Anna says, I have a necklace of wings for the quote, the bird doesn't worry about the branch breaking because it trusts its wings. I love that.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And there was something I was going to say in response to that, Nikki. The other thing around this for you, Sarah, of like this dark night of the soul. And I feel like a lot of people are afraid to even use that term for themselves, because they're like, well, what I'm going through isn't that bad. Like, I didn't lose someone, or I didn't, like, everything on the surface and to the outside world seems fine. But inwardly, like, you're going through all of these transformative, kind of heartbreaking, like world shattering things. But you're still presenting as totally normal and functional. And it feels like that's another big kind of segment of people, Sarah, that you're going to relate to, because that's another really big theme that's going on in the collective, where people are like, on the surface and on paper, my life looks fine, so why am I not happy? And it's because they're going through these big internal shifts that you're meant to guide them through. So thank you, Sarah.
Yeah. So for those of you who are just joining, we have Chelsea, one of our soul mentors, somebody that has been training under me, and she's just answering a few intuitive questions. Maria Jones, 8112. I love, it's amazing how much these all connect, even through separate readings. So the cool thing, you guys, always about group readings, and although we're only answering 3 questions, if you've been called to this session, there is an answer for you within what Chelsea is saying. Just these three people are, and if anybody has had that experience, like please share. But these three people are just kind of like our mirrors for those answers. So just know that you're receiving, like, just by being here, keeping your heart and your ears open to like what, what messages are for you. So a lot of you I know are receiving that. And we definitely have a theme. Okay, so there was a question I said I was going to answer. Chelsea, do you have time for one more answer?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm going to let you scroll so you can pick what you're speaking to. And there was something that I said I was going to answer
Okay.
to.
I do see a
Okay.
question I wanted to address because I've been through this.
Okay. So I'm going to answer really quick. B Medina is saying, my guides sent me a message through my best friend that I should listen to the people that I don't like. Is there a little more information that I can get about that? I would appreciate it. So B Medina 03, I saw that and it just like really kind of like put up my hairs. And so my sense is that you're actually learning to trust your own intuition, and that like actually what is coming through the friend is almost a like another entity and a consciousness that's not your spirit guide, but it's just something that is like, for lack of a better word, like fucking with you. So, and it is like basically like a test to go inward and connect to yourself. So this is really not about like who you should listen to. The answer is like, this is really about how much you need to listen to yourself. So I was just like, I need to clear this up. So thank you for sharing that. And there is a time when you guys, I remember going through the stage that like I was, we go through these stages of having that ear chakra like super open and listening to everybody's advice and listening to what everybody has to say about our lives and all that kind of stuff. And then at some point it's just like enough, like I can't hear those things anymore. It's, and I remember like just closing it off completely. And that quiet season in your life, whether it's 6 months or a year or whatever, you like that's where you're going to build your intuition, where you kind of just tell yourself for a little bit like, I'm not going to listen to anybody even if they have good advice for me. I need to like detox from listening to others so that I can start to hear myself. And that really seems like where you're at, B Medina. So and then what's going to happen is ultimately when you hear your own intuition, you start to get like really good at that. When you hear somebody speak and they have something for you, you will like you'll have your own format of knowing that it's for you. So like for instance, for me, like if Chelsea's talking to me and all of a sudden like the volume goes up in what she's saying, that I know that that's for me. And that's just something that I have learned through like learning to hear myself. So you will get there. You have boundaries around people's advice, because some people's advice, it's just like, oh, that's so nice. And you just kind of throw it out. But then, yeah, there's some people that have messages for you, but you first have to understand your own intuition to be able to know if those messages are for you. And that seems like where you're at. So I wanted to share that. So Chelsea, sorry, go ahead and answer what you were going to answer.
Okay. Actually, when you were saying that, part of this feels relevant for this question too, I think. S. Kelly 18 asked, hi, I have a question. I always ask for a sign about love, and the signs are always relating to someone that is unavailable in a relationship and lives far away. Why always him? I had this same problem, if you want to call it a problem, with this guy when I was right at the beginning of my spiritual awakening. And actually, that whole situation was part of what led me to book a reading with you, Nikki, which is so funny, like full circle moment here. But I was really relying on signs for my intuition. And I remember asking for a very specific sign. I would ask for a red cardinal if like me and this guy were meant to work out. And I saw them everywhere. I saw them like on signs, on shirts, on like sports logos, and like real life cardinals. And I was like, oh, we're meant to be together. And we didn't end up being together. And, it was kind of a blow to the ego of like, and a blow to what I thought was my spiritual development. Like, I'm really trying to open up and like, why do you keep sending me these specific signs, universe and spirit guides, if it's, not the right answer? And what I feel for you, as Kelly here, is kind of similar to what Nikki was just saying in the last answer, like
She
you're
just
really
sent you crying faces.
oh.
Chelsea.
You're really being called to open up your intuition and kind of like Nikki said, like close those ear chakras to what other people are saying. You're right now being called to like rely less on signs, because signs are a great thing to kind of seek when we're just starting on that spiritual development journey, but sometimes when we over rely on them, they can be very disempowering. And so I just feel like you're being called to put on your kind of blinders and close your ears to any of the signs related to anyone, whether it's this guy or someone else, and like tune in, like move all of your energy, close your eyes, move all of your energy into your heart space, and find, like, ask what your heart needs and find your intuitive guidance within yourself and rely less on the signs around you. It just feels like this is a bigger lesson from your guides. And I mean, Nikki always likes to tell us sometimes our guides teach us lessons by kind of fucking with us and sending us, like, the lesson is in you getting the wrong answer, it seems, but it's teaching you, instead of like asking this question of like, what will my future be in love, and is it with this person or this person, it's asking you to trust yourself and your own intuition more.
We're going to up level.
Yeah.
So, and the other thing about signs, you guys, and yes, I believe they're great, like 101s, you know, like they're great, like, you know, we all get started with signs, but at some point signs are at the mercy of law of attraction. So, you know, at some point, like the cardinals become the thing that Chelsea wants to see, you know, and
Yeah.
so she's focusing on it, and all of a sudden there's all these cardinals that always existed, but she was never looking for them. Now she's looking for them. So it's like law of attraction starts to kick in.
Yeah.
And that's why signs are limited. The same way cards are limited. Like, have you ever played with cards and at some point they stop working? You're like, oh, like, because there's that's showing you that there's an overuse of the sign. There's an overuse of the cards. And then we have to go and do deeper intuitive work, which it just means you're up leveling. It just means that you're learning to have the stamina to pull the information. The way Chelsea's pulling right now, the way that I can pull, we all started with signs and cards and all those things, but we've developed stamina and focus to be able to connect, which all of you are able to do, which is what we teach in Soul Secrets, what we teach in Soul Leader, but we do have to like create the stamina to get there. So now it's time to move past signs. You've graduated. It's exciting.
Exactly. Yeah, you're graduating. I love that.
Yeah. So, well, you guys, thanks so much for being here with us. This is super fun. We please follow Chelsea. Can you type in, Chelsea, your Instagram handle?
Yes.
Chelsea does these little readings that I love. What days do you do them, Chelsea?
They're called Woo Woo Wednesday, so they're on Wednesdays.
They're on Wednesdays, and she does this kind of, it's just an Instagram post, and it has like 4 pictures of something. You're supposed to pick your picture, and then she, whatever that picture is, like, it's kind of like pulling a deck of cards, but she does such a good, it's so intentional. It's really fun. I think it's just an easy sign from the universe. And it's one of my favorite things that she does every Wednesday. If you want to book a reading with her, just head over to nikkinovo.com under Clarity Readings. We have her there. And she will be doing year ahead readings.
Yeah, so exciting.
We will be launching that tomorrow, I think, or it goes out tonight or something. Chelsea, do you have that link on your Instagram?
Not yet. I will tomorrow or.
Yeah, I should have come prepared with it, you guys. Both Chelsea and I will have that link tomorrow or so. And the year ahead readings are super fun because they're 30 minutes, $80, like, can't get a better reading by somebody super powerful. And basically she's going to look at 2021 for you and go month by month and feel into the energy of like kind of what you, not necessarily being like super, super predictive, but basically like what you can work with, like what's the opening for, what themes to like look out for, stuff like that. It's just very helpful to help you navigate your spiritual life throughout the year. So yes, so we got some great, thank you, Nikki, and of course, Maria, thank you for being here with us. Thanks, Stephanie.
Thank you guys for the questions, and thanks so much, Nikki, for having me on and letting me join and letting me do this and having faith in me.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Like, I am so proud of all you guys, and I'm just so proud of you, Chelsea, and you did such a great job. That's a great Christmas gift idea. Yes, it is. Sarah, that is a great gift. I actually am giving some to, not with me, but to some of my family members and my friends. So, all right, ladies, and then thank you so much. We will see you soon. We'll be doing more little group readings with mentors throughout the next few weeks. So just look out on my stories, and we'll be sharing that information. So if you didn't get your question answered this time, like you will get it next time. Okay. Love you much. Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Bye, Chels.